Hello and welcome back to Digesting the Decade. Now we are on the third tier, and it brings us to friends and family. So the first tier, we dealt with the physical environment, basically literally cleaning up your space, whether you're getting rid of papers, stuff, old furniture, reconfiguring your space to make it work for you right here, right now, for your new now. So we dealt with the physical space, took you to a bunch of questions there. Of course, you can refer to the physical notes on the course to review some of those, or maybe revisit some of those, or maybe if you didn't get to all of them because it was quite a big chunk, feel free to just chunk it down in digestible parts for you. You know, it could take you a year to digest this course if you take it question by question and really go through the process with those areas that are really interesting to you. And sometimes what's interesting to us may be kind of what's really up and relevant for us at the time. So whatever piques your interest and say, oh yeah, that's what I want to look at right now. So we did the physical part first, and then I took you we went together into the mental and emotional space. So what's happening, the space inside of our being, not just our physical environment, the space inside of our being. And we looked at just, what came up in your mental field? What were the things you did over the last 10 years? What were your accomplishments? What were your pitfalls? What were your vacations? What were your job changes or your house changes or all these sort of big changes, these landmarks? Went through that. And then that was just sort of the low hanging fruit, like what's in your immediate mental field? And then the next time we went in a little bit deeper and dug through maybe some calendars, some journals to see, what did I actually do? How did I actually spend my time? What did I like about what I did? What didn't I like about it? What did I like? What didn't I like? What did I learn from? What did I learn? What is just still hanging out why am I carrying this around for the last 10 years? That worked for me 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and I'm still doing it. It's still on my calendar. And then we explored some of the nuance in the digging deeper as we looked through calendars, reading some journals, and explored the tone. What was that vibration of what you were bringing to your choices? So just not the choices you made, but what was the vibe and the tone, not only in that vibey weird place of tone, but then as you read your journals and letters and things that I offered that you could go back and reread, what was the tone? How did you sound to yourself as you saw your own writing or heard your own recordings? So that vibey thing, whether it's your emotional tone or actually your verbal or physical tone around your choices. So with all that, you can still be working on that or bring it into this particular little segment of friends and family. And I think it's really powerful because these to me are some of my most immediate personal reflections and relationships. And when we deal with friends and family, it's like some of us feel very comfortable just saying being ourselves in front of friends and family. And others of us feel like we have to perform in order to maintain a friendship or maintain a status in my family in my family dynamic. Or if I don't do it right, I won't be loved. So sometimes these relationships are the ones that are the scariest, because if we mess it up, maybe we won't have this love that we're getting. Whereas with a complete stranger, we don't really care. We can be anybody that we want to be. So as we look at our idea of the friends and family and these relationships, let's take that in mind and say, how can I reconfigure my relationship to my friends and family now that I'm 10 years wiser, and be less what they expect me to be, and be less the person or personality that they are expecting from me? And how can I be more of my new now, my new self in these relationships? And with those kinds of questions and with that sort of overtone, that sort of tone to these questions I'm going to pose for you, allow yourself to reflect on some of your relationships. So feel free to close your eyes, or you can be journaling as we go. Take this as a meditation or possibly some sort of a journal exercise, or you may want to actually take movement into it and explore in your body as I ask these questions. Just allow yourself to have fun as we play with some contemplations here. So who were your main friends 10 years ago? Are they the same? Have they changed? And think about why. Why did they stay the same? What was that staying power? And then if things changed, why they changed? And were you happy with that change? And if you weren't happy, did it still feel right? Or did something feel unresolved or you weren't ready? Moving on to family. What was your relationship to your family members 10 years ago? Now you may have specific ones that come to mind, and feel free to go into the nooks and crannies of the ones that you don't think about that often, especially if you have a lot of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. So that relationship to your family members 10 years ago, and how have those relationships evolved? What are they now? And how does that change, that evolution feel to you? Or maybe you're seeing where you'd like them to evolve more, or you'd like to evolve in your relationship with them more, and it hasn't quite happened yet. But where are you right now? Right now with those relationships? So for any relationship, whether it's friend, family, or other, for any relationship that interests you, you may ask yourself, how did my relationship to that person change? If it's not a person, maybe it's a place or thing. Feel free to use that as well. How do I feel about their presence or lack of presence in my life right now today? Is there something I would like to say to that person that I haven't said out loud? Is there something I would like that person to say to me that they haven't said out loud? If I like the way my relationship with that person has evolved, what conscious or unconscious choices did I make to support the evolution into its now current reality? And what part of the evolution do I think the other person played? Remember, you really can't speak for them, but you can see what you credit or blame them for as a way to more self-understanding. Am I content with the current state of our relationship? If not, where would I like to see it go? And what am I willing or ready to do in order to move it forward for myself? And if I am content with the current state of the relationship, can I acknowledge myself for showing up for myself in my own relationship to myself? Perhaps explore how that might have an effect, or that might have had a bearing on my contentment. What did I do for myself that led me to this contentment? Have fun exploring these questions. I know I've had some great fun exploring them myself. And of course, everything that I put out here, I've done myself. So I believe in it. And I look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to use the forum, the the community board, forum, whatever we're calling it, on the site, and feel free to start a conversation with others that are also participating in this course. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next week.